and live performance skills, you're now ready for the next exciting chapter, pre-recorded performances. So, welcome to the world of studio session singing, where talented vocalists step off the stage and into the recording booth to build thriving careers. And here's what might surprise you: there's massive demand for skilled session singers, and many professionals prefer the studio environment over live performance. You can build an entire singing career literally just doing session work. Your first action step would be to assess your readiness using the pillars 1 through 3 worksheets, and watch the videos as well. So, is AI taking over? You might be asking yourself this, right? It's a good question to ask, of course, but while AI voices are emerging, human ears still instinctively detect the difference between artificial and authentic human voices. Is that most clients, they still crave that irreplaceable, they are everywhere. Professional recording studios in cities and suburbs, home studios, increasingly popular and accessible remote recording setups, your own future home studio investment, right? So you have to think of it that way. And that industry insight is that session work is actually growing as content creation explodes across platforms, in games, and in media. So think of it this way: to thrive, let's go back. Whoops, made a mistake. Nope, I didn't. Okay, to thrive as a studio session singer, you need what I like to call verve, 4 essential qualities. So V for vocal ability, V for versatility, R for reliability, and V for variability, which is being adaptability to different conditions. And these aren't just helpful traits; they're non-negotiable requirements that separate the hobbyists from professionals. Okay, so take a moment to rate yourself 1 to 10 in each area using this verve self-assessment. So let's talk about verve, what the word actually is. It's the spirit or enthusiasm and vigor for literary or to artistic work. That's what we are, right? We're artists. So you have to be so passionate about this craft that you can't imagine doing anything else. And this isn't just a side hustle, it's a calling that demands your full creative commitment. So you have to do like a little self-assessment. Can you honestly say singing energizes rather than drains you, even during challenging sessions? It's a good question to ask yourself. Okay, so time is money. You have to think of that in the studio. You walk in, you see the music for the very first time, and you nail it on take 1. This is an essential skill that you have to develop. Sight reading, sight singing, and being fluent in that is absolutely important. Okay, vital. You have to have very quick ear training for picking up songs instantly, right? Musical literacy goes a long way, especially across genres in a professional studio. Okay. And then also you have to think of etiquette inside the professional studio, and don't panic. Okay. If you follow pillars 1 through 3 systematically, you can build these skills, right? Excellence in any field, anything, being whether you're a doctor or a lawyer or anything else for that matter, it requires dedication and very, very intricate preparation. Okay. So the next step for you would be to schedule additional sight reading practice into your daily routine. Okay. And we talk about that in the pillar on musicianship. All right. Let's talk about vocal ability. Technical excellence matters, of course, right? So obviously being very good at singing itself and understanding technique. Okay. Because your voice is your instrument. You have to keep it finely tuned, and you have to have development in these essential areas. You have to master the spotlight vocal exercises, which you get for free inside the community. Okay. And you have to maintain voice lessons and coaching, right? For years, voice lessons and coaching. You can do it either in a group session or you can do it in private lessons. And we do both, right? So build daily practice habits for yourself, because nobody's going to be in your head and telling you to practice every day. I can tell you till I'm blue in the face, but your once a week lesson isn't going to help you if you're not doing and implementing what we teach every single day. right? You have to build yourself that daily practice habit. It strengthens your technique, it develops your stamina, and especially for long recording sessions, because sometimes they can be 8 to 12 hours long. Okay. Just like rehearsals would be. Okay. So think of it that way. So there's an industry standard for session singers. Okay. And you have to be able to perform consistently for hours without vocal fatigue. And of course, we talk about that in vocal health and wellness as well in that pillar. So take this action step. You want to evaluate your current practice routine. Is it building a professional level of stamina? All right. Let's talk about versatility. Your marketability relies on how versatile you are. The more styles you master, the more work you can book. And the genres that are typically required for session work like this would be classical and opera, right? Learning proper diction in multiple languages. Musical theater develops strong belt and mix techniques. Pop, rock, blues, jazz. You want to master those contemporary vocal styles as well. And then, of course, specialty genres like country, R&B, and heavy metal, even, which, I was on featured on a heavy metal album too. All right, here's a pro tip. Do not claim expertise in genres you haven't truly studied. Clients can tell whether you or can do that or not, and they will test your abilities immediately. So take an action step of choosing one genre to study just this quarter. Okay, like I said earlier, I have a real world example of this being classical and musical theater, but I also sang in pop bands for years too. Well, I was asked to sing on a heavy metal album, and I was featured on the Iced Earth album, The Crucible of Man, Something Wicked Part 2. You can actually check it out on Spotify. And on Wikipedia, I'm actually named in their album. So this opportunity came because I was already versatile enough to adapt my technique. I approached it with curiosity instead of fear, and my foundational skills transferred across genres. So the main lesson that I always say yes to something challenging because you never know what kind of an opportunity is going to stretch your abilities. So your versatility is your competitive advantage. Okay. All right. Now let's talk about reliability in the Verve assessment. Your reputation is everything. Okay. So we want variety, especially in contracts. One-off sessions can be $150 to $500 per session, but short-term projects like weeks to month, they can be long-term touring contracts with major artists, or say an entire TV series that will be uh, over and over again. You'll be the artist that they go to record. You'll get a retainer. You'll get the arrangements with studios or producers. Now, your success factor is your reputation, and industry relationships matter more than raw talent alone. The reliability equation, vocal confidence, and versatility, that equals professional behavior with repeated bookings. Remember that pillars 1 through 3 aren't just preparation, they're your ongoing professional development that makes you indispensable. So take a moment and let's work on this action item. You're going to create a reliability checklist for every single session. Okay. All right, now let's talk about variability, mastering different personalities and situations that you'll encounter. So there's different client types, just FYI. Okay. The perfectionist demands, this is the perfectionist. They demand multiple takes, they have strong opinions, they know exactly what they want. And your response is to stay patient and deliver consistently. Then the client that is the unclear communicator. They know what they want, but they can't articulate it. Your response is to ask clarifying questions, and you should offer multiple interpretations. That's where your variability comes in, right? Then the next client is the collaborator. They rely on your expertise and creative input. Your response is to come prepared with ideas and suggestions. Okay, let's take the sight reader test. Okay, that's the person who wants you to see if you can sight read anything they put in front of you. They hand you sheet music expecting immediate perfection. Your response is to nail it on the first try, hence the importance of your musicianship skills. Okay. This was my experience with Iced Earth. They literally put the music in front of me and I sight read it. Then I was the only one that they asked to stay later because they wanted me to sing a whole bunch of other things too, because I was so good at sight reading and my skill level was high. This is where you want to be. Okay. Typically, those session rates are going to be between $200 and $800 per session, depending on your experience and the client budget as well. All right. What about these kinds of things? These are opportunities and these are overviews that I'd love to talk about. And this is your earning potential, which can span multiple industries. So, as an established session singer, you can find consistent work across various sectors. All right, let's explore these most lucrative and accessible opportunities that are available to you. Okay, and we'll have specific examples with earning potential and entry strategies for each of these sectors. Let's talk about jingles. This is your gateway to commercial success. Okay, this is excellent entry level opportunity. Typical pay would be $300 to $2,000 per jingle, depending on usage and market size. The session length is pretty short, usually 2 to 4 hours. The repeat factor is pretty high, especially for successful jingles, which often need variations and seasonal updates. So your entry strategy into this would be to connect with local advertising agencies, and you can reach out to radio stations in your area. And then you'll build relationships with commercial music producers. So here's a great action step. Research 5 advertising agencies in your region this week. Let's talk about television and film. These are premium opportunities. TV film music offers higher rates and broader exposure, with the typical pay being between $5,000 and $5,000 per session, depending on where you are. And then the union scale typically starts around 500. And this is additional income. You get residuals for repeated airings. The requirements are strong portfolio, versatility, union membership, often AFTRA or SAG or SAG. And the entry path would be to build a demo reel showcasing different emotional ranges. And you want to network with musical supervisors and composers. You'll join music licensing agencies, and then you can consider moving to entertainment hubs like LA, Nashville, New York City, and Atlanta. Here's a little pro tip. Film and TV often needs quick turnarounds, and reliability is crucial. Okay, how about some karaoke tracks, right? Everybody uses those when they're learning their songs. So you'll get a steady volume of work. There's high volume because music's always coming out on the on the radio. So there's a lower stress entry point. Typically the pay is low. It's about 100 to 300 per strong, but the volume advantage is there. So you can get hired often for multiple songs per session. The skill requirement is accurate recreation of popular songs, right? To get started here, you could contact karaoke companies directly. You can connect with entertainment venues. You can build online presence showing popular song covers and network with DJ companies and wedding vendors. Take this action step now. Create 3 professional karaoke style demos this month. Let's talk about video game industry. It's a growing market too, right? It's already huge. And gaming industry equals rapidly expanding opportunities. And the typical pay is $400 to $1,500 per session. Your bonus potential would be royalties for successful games. Special requirements often include character voice acting, fantasy and sci-fi themes. So the entry strategy for this would be to study current game soundtracks, develop character voice portfolios, and network with game developers and audio directors. You want to stay current with gaming industry trends. Consider additional voice acting and training. The industry insight here would be gaming audio budgets are increasing significantly year over year. Now let's talk about background vocal tracks. This is your networking gold mine, okay? Supporting other artists just equals relationship building, and the typical pay is like $200 to $800 per session. The hidden value here is direct access to established artists, producers, and industry professionals. Your career advancement can often lead to featured opportunities. You could be in touring situations and additional studio opportunities. So voiceover work for commercials could be audiobook narration, e-learning, and corporate training modules, radio, imaging, and promos. So we'll dive deeper into voice acting in the next pillar and is interdisciplinary. Okay. So let's talk about additional tips. Professional success and industry wisdom. This is 6 non-negotiable professional standards. You need to be ready to travel. You need to have stamina for long working hours, singing hours. You need to have flexibility in your schedule. You need to be able to take direction well. You need to have a professional demeanor and persistent follow through. We'll come up with next its detailed breakdown of each essential professional skill. Be prepared to travel. You want to expand your market session. Okay. Uh, so you want to be serious about it. Serious session singers go where the work is. Reality check is that the best opportunities often require travel to major music centers or specific studios. So you want to consider that budget for travel expenses often can get reimbursed for larger projects, but they're not always reimbursed. So you want to maintain your passport potentially for international opportunities. This is when you start to get a really great reputation. You want to develop relationships with studios in multiple cities, consider temporary relocation even for intensive projects. Success strategy would be to start locally, then expand your geographical location, and that reach will continue to expand as your reputation grows. Be prepared to work long hours. Okay. Studio sessions run 8 to 12 hours sometimes. And you want to be physically prepared with vocal stamina through consistent daily practice. I don't know how many times I can say that, but that's so important because the only way to build stamina is to do it every day. So your overall physical health and endurance is important as well. Okay, proper hydration, nutritional planning too, by the way, which we do talk about in vocal health and wellness. You want to be in comfortable professional attire for long days. You want to be mentally prepared, right? You want to have patience with yourself and everyone else around you because there are going to be repetitive takes sometimes. And then there'll be sustained focus and concentration as well. So you have to stay alert. You have to have a positive attitude during challenging sessions. Here's a pro tip. Experienced session singers can work efficiently without compromising quality, even during those marathon sessions. All right, be flexible. Yes, be flexible with your body, but definitely be flexible with your mind. The session singer's superpower is last minute calls are going to be the norm, not the exception. You can think of these common scenarios. Can you be here in 2 hours? Sure, I was in the middle of, my workout session, but no problem, I'll make it. Session extensions can go beyond planned time. So styles change mid-session too. Emergency replacement for unavailable singers happens a lot. And so you want to be available for that. And so your competitive advantage is being available when others can't accommodate. You want to create premium opportunities and you'll get higher rates that way. So here's your action step. Build flexibility into your weekly schedule for unexpected opportunities. You need to be able to take direction well. Okay. Studios operate with clear professional hierarchies. And the key figures that you'll work with are producers, which is creative direction, engineers, which is technical direction, music direction, and clients and artists, right? That's the overall vision. So your professional skills are going to have to be listening to actively to direction. You want to be able to ask clarifying questions when needed. Implement feedback quickly and accurately, and you want to maintain a positive attitude under pressure. Just remember that taking direction well doesn't mean sacrificing your artistry. It means channeling your creativity effectively. Professionalism is your brand in action, okay? You represent yourself and your work publicly. You're also representing their brand and their work publicly. Okay, so professional standards are being punctual. 15 minutes early is usually being late, okay, because you got to get your head in the game. So being prepared with the materials and warm-ups, okay, respect it. So be warmed up, come warmed up. Respectful communication with all the team members. Also, remember there's confidentiality about projects and client information Okay. So professional appearance and demeanor is extremely important, even though you're not being seen by anybody listening to your work. The people in the studio see you. Okay. Here's an industry insight. Session singers with excellent reputations often get called before more talented singers with poor professional habits. Keep that in mind. Persistence. You want to play that long game, okay? Building a session career takes time and consistency. Timeline reality for you would be months to establish local connections, right? 1 to 2 years to build steady regional work, then 3 to 5+ years to establish national or even international recognition. Your strategies to being persistent would be to follow up professionally on every contact, maintain relationships between projects, continue skill development during slow periods, stay positive throughout inevitable rejections. And now your mindset shift would be every no brings you closer to the right yes. So here's that ultimate career flexibility. You want to combine live and studio work. It creates maximum opportunities for you. So the benefits of doing both would be to you gain fan engagement, multiple touch points with your audience, lifestyle freedom, which you get to choose projects that fit your life and goals. You get creative versatility. You get to showcase different aspects of your artistry. Plus, you get income diversification. You get multiple revenue streams, which reduce financial risk in the industry for you. Professional growth. Each format improves the other. It really does. The competitive advantage for you would be fewer singers excel at both. Okay. So this will make you much more valuable and unique in the marketplace. Just remember your verve. All right. You got the vocal ability, the versatility, reliability, and variability. You want to be able to adapt to any situation or personality that comes your way. So your success formula would be passion plus persistence plus talent plus professional habits equal a thriving session career. So if you want to be committed to this, you have to prepare thoroughly, work consistently, and never give up on this dream. So what you want to do right now is to develop your vocal skills, okay? And this is like your professional preparation checklist, okay? Develop your vocal skills. You want to have ongoing voice lessons, even in a group that works for you too, okay? Technical refinement with a qualified instructor, just like me, just like any of my other teachers here in the Bach School of Voice. Your daily practice routine is going to consist of skill building and maintenance. So daily, you want to expand your ability to sing in multiple genres. Okay, then you want to dial in that consistent daily practice routine. Okay, so let's do this little action item. You're going to evaluate and upgrade your current practice routine to professional standards. Don't forget that you want to build your professional portfolio and your EPK. This is essential. Okay. Professional website and your EPK is pretty simple because you can share with studios and clients. Now, if you're part of my studio, you'll get featured on my website, and all you have to do is send them to the student page on my website to at the Bach School of Voice in order to get your EPK out there. So pretty simple. And then, you can certainly upgrade to other areas. Mine is free or included when you're a student with me, but you can put your name out there on other professional sites as well. Make sure you have demo recordings. You want high quality examples of your range and versatility. You want genre specific examples, and they need to be organized by style, capability, and performance history, of course, notable past works and collaborations. You want professional photos, headshots, and action shots, so pictures of you singing. You want business materials like your cards, resumes, short and long bios, and your medium bio. Now, here's a technical tip. Use free software like Audacity for initial demos, and you can upgrade to professional recordings as you book more work. So there's an honesty policy here. Know and communicate your limits clearly. Overselling yourself leads to problems in the industry and will lead you to losing work. So you want to network with recording studios and other industry connections because your network determines your net worth in the music industry. Okay, here especially. Your strategic networking approach should be starting with local studios. You'll build relationships with nearby facilities first. Then go to industry events, attend trade shows, conferences, and music events. This can include even simple things like wedding expos. So you want those producer connections too. So you want to develop relationships with music directors and producers. Venue tracking. I have a venue tracker available to my students. All right. So you want to maintain detailed records of all the contacts and connections that you've made. Let's take a reality check in the industry. The music business is smaller than you think. Your reputation will definitely precede you. So make sure your reputation is positive. Here's a success milestone. When work starts finding you instead of you finding the work, you've definitely achieved professional momentum. All right. So now your mission is to take action now. You want to download your worksheet and complete these 3 essential steps. Develop your vocal skills. Assess current abilities using verb framework, right? You want to identify those skill gaps and create an improvement plan for yourself. And you can work with a coach in the Bach School of Voice as well. Establish consistent daily practice routine. Now, number 2, build your professional portfolio and your EPK, your electronic press kit. You want to create high quality demo recordings, develop professional online presence, compile business materials and photos. That includes those recordings and maybe even a video reel. Network, number 3, is network with recording studios. You want to research and contact local studios. You want to attend industry events and conferences, and then track all of your connections in your venue spreadsheet. This is your timeline. So complete the initial assessment within 2 weeks of watching this video. Have your basic materials ready within 6 weeks, and then you want to start beginning networking immediately. And I would love for you guys to actually message me and tell me how you're doing with that. We have EPK. We have EPK Q&As monthly inside the Bach School of Voice, okay, inside the community. So don't hesitate to reach out to me, and or another teacher will get back to you. We certainly want to help you be as successful as you possibly can be, okay? So your session singer journey starts now. The recording studio awaits, and your unique voice and professional dedication. So remember that every successful